Okay, so um, not many people talked about this. I heard a little bit about it related to the Jack Smith investigation. And it's so funny when I hear some people in real life, they'll be like, "Well, who is Jack Smith?" They have no idea who he even is. And it's kind of like they had no idea that there was an investigation even taking place. And so now I did hear a little bit on some TV stations before they've pretty much become defunded that they had no idea who funded the Jack Smith investigation. So what they were saying is that he just came out of nowhere. And so it's almost like there's this phantom guy named Jack Smith, and he did an investigation. He was on TV during the time that Donald Trump was campaigning, and he was writing up reports. And so he was kind of like a pain in the neck for Donald Trump. And so that's why I was wondering if anybody had any insight into who funded Jack Smith. I mean, nobody ever took that any further. Um, Now, the thing is, it's like, well, um, they didn't take his report seriously. So he wrote this big report, and it was like nobody read through it, nobody took it seriously. So who funded Jack Smith? I mean, do we have any people in the United States who actually are willing to answer these questions or have a discussion about it instead of us being redirected outside to a foreign country? That's what I've been wondering and trying to find. Mr. M, hello, and Gunnar Nichols, what's up? Do you guys have any thoughts that you'd like to share on who funded Jack Smith? Oh, you love your dog. Yay, hello. Thanks for tuning in. I'm hoping you guys being here, you'd have some insight on what your thoughts are related to the Jack Smith popping back up again. It sounds to me that it's normal for some attorneys to be investigated, but I guess I just thought Jack Smith was gone altogether. And now he's popped back up again. And so he did the big report during Donald Trump's campaign. But they're saying something about that there's some ethics violation related to campaigning, or he did some campaigning for somebody at one time. I'm not sure. Anyone have any thoughts? Anyone? Thoughts in the comment section. Okay, let me go over here. I need to check and make sure that I got all my messages popping up here. So it looks like they are. So you love your dog. Hello. So if you guys are new, please subscribe and watch my videos. Shameless plug. Write more comments. Well, yes, thank you so much for the hearts and the smiley faces. We're getting a few hearts and smiley faces. Okay, I love my dog. Yeah, yes, you posted all the emojis. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I keep forgetting about emojis. I have so much fun with emojis in making short videos. They are so much fun. I mean, I find myself cracking up a lot of the time when I'm making my short little video skits and things like that. Who knew I could have so much fun with artificial intelligence? But sometimes it will make a likeness very similar to a real person, and then there's other times I find it hard to explain to it how to make a person that I want it to look similar to. And um you know, so what it always explained to me is that it can make something similar, but it can't make a human, a real person. So I think what it's telling me is that it just can't make the real person, but it can make something similar. So I don't know, but I would like to have a conversation. Oh, we got more emojis! Yay! More emojis. We got thumb emojis. You're 8. You're 8 years old. Okay, you go right on ahead and you post your thumb emojis, and you post all the emojis that you want to. I mean, I'm fine with that. Um, I mean, yeah, we don't need to have a conversation that bad, really, do we? And I know you guys that are 8 years old, you like posting emojis. You go right on ahead and you post the emojis as much as you want to. That I have fun with them my own self. Me, like, and sub. Yes, please subscribe. Me, like, and sub. You like and sub. I actually made a submarine video. I think I have one coming out again, but it's on scheduled right now. And I did happen to see a story about the United States Navy, and they're doing some, well, they have a underground submarine that goes really fast. Not underground, underwater. An underground submarine. That sounds so funny. Actually, that would be sort of cool, but they probably could get stuck in a tunnel. If there's an obstruction in the tunnel, they probably could get stuck in the if it was under an underground submarine, in a cave that's full of water. I mean, that would be an interesting story. Oh, you did sub? Thank you. And, I agree with people. I have fun making content, but at the same time, I miss real people and being around real people that are, well, there's a few of them that have been around lately who are pretty decent, actually. Um, and I'm hoping the rest of them that are jerks move on someplace else. I mean, preferably, I would like to move on someplace else if I could get in someplace else, but, that's what I would prefer, is me going someplace else. But I've been getting virtual signals of something else, and that's all I'm gonna say. Um, so you're 8 years old, you love your dog, and how long have you been on YouTube? I love my dog. Are you still here? I guess not. So if you're only 8 years old, you really wouldn't be interested in the topic that I have in the title of my video. I've been trying to find adults, and sometimes it's hard to do. I'm really shocked at how hard it is to find adults. I've been on YouTube for for 3 years. You've been on for 3 years. Since you were 5? Since you were 5 years old, you got on YouTube, so you must have had your mom help you. Rose X Blue 78. My neighbor called me gay. What should I do? Um, all you have to do is say, why, thank you for noticing that I'm happy, because gay means happy. That's what you should do, Rose, is just say thank you for noticing that I'm happy. I mean, gay is not a bad word. There's actually people who have the last name of Gay, and the last name of Gay and even the first name of Gay is even a woman's name. There's celebrities who have had the name Gay, so it's nothing bad as far as a name, because Gay just means happy. It's unfortunate that you kids think that gay is bad now, or that people are calling you names. Sometimes they just do that. Just I mean, when I was a kid, I got called names too. Nothing too serious. I don't remember, but we all kind of got called names. He's a Mexican old guy. Should I call ICE on? If you want to call ICE on him, yes, go ahead, go right on ahead and call ICE. If you if you think that if you think he's illegal, yeah, that's one way to get rid of your neighbor. Call ICE on him. I mean, is there a phone number for ICE? I don't even know what the phone number is. I have seen Kristi Noem and Pam Bondi both saying on TV that ICE, they've been asking people, they've been asking the illegal migrants to turn their own selves in, but they haven't given out phone numbers for the American public. They've been talking about a self-deportation for the migrants to leave the country. Now, yeah, that's funny you say that. He's an old Mexican guy. He should have maybe thought about that before the ICE agents show up at the door, and then he figures out that an 8-year-old kid called ICE agents on him because he called the kid gay. That's actually kind of funny. I think you should call ICE on him. I don't, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, if he is illegal, he shouldn't be in the United States, and a lot of them are illegal. So, he probably is one of them that doesn't belong in the United States. Well, I think I'm going to shut this off. I'm sleepy. I should have thought about that before I got on the live stream, but I think I'm sitting here falling asleep. Well, we'll see you guys later. Your phone is at 16%. Interesting. There's another ambigram. You flip it upside down and it's 91. But it's so funny. It's so funny to think about the progress of media and how much it's changed. I watched. I know I said I was going to go, but I just wanted to say this before I go. Um, I watched a celebrity who was talking about. She said for them that things have changed a lot, and she said that she watched 3 movies recently, and she said one of them was decent, and she said the other 2 were really bad. And so she said that they're still paying the celebrities really, really, really good money for doing crummy work. And she said the movies that they're in now, she said it's almost like they want them to do crummy work. And so it and listening to the woman who was talking, they were talking about people who just want to be famous, and then people who want money. And so she was saying with the famous part, she said that it just comes along with a lot of headaches, is pretty much what she was saying. But she said at the same time, she thinks kind of similar to how I did, because I know I'd said myself I'd rather have money coming in than um, being famous. But she was talking about she was talking about how you don't know sometimes, being a celebrity, they just don't know where their next paycheck is coming from. But I guess I thought that it sounded to me like I thought a lot of them were on a payroll of some sort, or there was things that they did, and so they always had money coming in, or they're always taken care of. So if they're living in a house, someone's paying for them to live in a house, they're taken care of. That's different from YouTubers. Where YouTubers just, I mean, my goodness, we didn't think it was supposed to be. And when I say we, I just recognize a lot of other YouTubers on the internet and on YouTube who recognize the same thing. There's similarities, like, yeah, most of us will never be known. And that's what's so funny. It's kind of cute actually watching some of the younger influencers on YouTube. And they're like, oh, I went out in public and nobody knows who I am. And they're like, oh, maybe one guy came up and approached me. He says that just shows how much nobody's paying any attention to my videos. He says no one knows who I am. And so they're wanting people to recognize them, which is kind of funny. Now, that's not something I ever cared about. I never really cared about being recognized in public. All I really wanted was the money. And, people on the internet now are saying, you put too much emphasis on money. It's like, well, yeah. Well, most people do when it comes to survival, because it does take money to live someplace. Do you think YouTube is a real job for the people who are getting paid? Yeah, when people are getting paid. Well, this is a discussion I've always had. For the people who are getting paid, absolutely yes. When someone asks what a person's profession is, a profession is nothing but what people are getting paid to do. You're strong. You are strong. And so, so even said that when I had my original YouTube channel. I said, well, heck, No, I can do this. I can be behind the camera. Nobody knows who I am. I have a profession. You know, a profession is, if you're a garbage truck driver, you have a profession. That's a profession. And you might be making only minimum wage. You know, that's a profession. You're making money. And so, yes, for people who are getting paid, absolutely that's a profession. Now, for people who aren't getting paid, they're just putting up videos and not getting paid. Um, so there, yeah, I know there's varying, so many different ways that people are paid, and right now it seems like that there's YouTubers who are, someone else is paying for them to live in big fancy houses, and they're getting, I guess they're getting gift cards. And what I did recognize today, something else that came up, another video I watched, it was really interesting. And so there was this young kid. He's kind of arrogant, but he makes a lot of sense too, because he says things just to try to get a rise out of people for the most part. But he did come across, and it sounds like he does have a little bit of compassion. But he was talking about the Social Security cards, and so he pointed out some things that were a lot of common denominators. And he said one of them was, he says, every single person, he says, that is saying that they are getting $2,000 to $5,000 a month in EBT and food stamps, he says all of them have 5 kids or more. So, but he said the thing that's mentioned all the time is how they have 5 kids. So they're on EBT stamps, food stamps, EBT card, SNAP benefits, and they got 5 kids. And so he said they do it so much, he said he thinks it's a joke, but he's not sure. And so it's kind of that thing related to Joe Rogan. And so he said he is trying to become more conscious about not telling people to just go get a job, but so he's saying other things, because in the past he's, oh, I know what one it was, the one about the dishes. He said the woman was crying, and I felt so bad for her. It's like, I've been there, I understand what's going on. And so instead of the guy telling her to go get a job, he's like, well, just turn around and go do your dishes. So it's like, well, what happened to you at least trying to be compassionate towards a person who's in a very difficult situation, because you yourself might find yourself in that difficult situation one day. And so with inflation, yeah, I mean, it's the thing I always think is, life is not supposed to be this hard. It shouldn't be. And, making life harder for people doesn't build better character. It just makes a society of angry people. That's what it does. And so I had always hoped that that things would turn around and be more inexpensive, but that's not the direction it's gone. But I think I'm going to get off of here because I am getting sleepy. And so I said what I needed to say. I tried to have a conversation about Jack Smith, but I'm sure media will be talking about it for the next few news cycles, since there's not much else to talk about. And so I'll see you a little later in the day.